Hello. Out on a walk with the fam with Bob, and Lucas is ahead of us. Just enjoying the scenery, enjoying the sunshine and the beautiful lake. Let me show you. Let's see. Isn't that gorgeous? We're at Aqua Gardens today, and well, I figured this is a good time to talk to Bob a little bit on our channel, because so many times our families are nervous about our surgeries and nervous about our weight loss and what all it entails. So I figured this is a good time to talk to Bob and get his take on the family side of it before we really go much further into this lifestyle change and what it's meant to me. So I'm going to let him carry the phone and talk a little bit. Here you go. Just face it towards you. Hold it up. So when I first told you that I was thinking about weight loss surgery, what immediately went through your head?
All the risks involved. I hadn't really kept up with all the updates on that type of surgery, and so all I ever knew was everybody said, "Oh, don't do that because so many people have died and so many people have been permanently injured from having that surgery." So I was freaking out on old news.
Okay. And then did you do your own research, or did you just wait to let the doctors talk to us? How did you come to be comfortable with this?
I did a little of my own research. I got time to kill on break time at work, so I did a little research on it and found out that they had perfected it well enough that there's like literally no deaths or permanent damage done for the most part. Nowadays,
there's always exceptional cases, but
right. I'm not saying there hasn't been people that have suffered in that fashion, but it's like every other surgery. When they first started doing heart replacements, heart transplants, there's a lot of them that didn't make it. But now it's like getting a tooth pulled. Yeah. And the success rate is phenomenal. So as I looked in that stuff, and then when we talked to the doctor that day we went down there,
she spent a lot of time answering your questions,
right,
didn't she?
And I just got a really good feel about it. Letting them cut you open, that wasn't easy for any reason.
Yeah. Well, and luckily it's all laparoscopy now, so I
right.
didn't have to have some big, huge scar.
Right. And see, it wasn't years ago with the information that I had, why I was freaking out so bad. So I just think they've come a long way with it. And
I think somebody forgot they were cooking.
The big thing is the commitment.
Right.
There has to be a commitment, not just from you. You had to commit, yeah, because you were having the surgery. But I had to make a certain commitment because of there's certain things that you're not going to be able to do.
Well, and let's talk about that commitment, because there's more than one type of commitment. One of those commitments was you saying, if you're going to do this, I'm going to be the one to take care of you. I'm going to be the one to drive you to and from, correct?
Right, yes.
So talk about the other kind of commitments that you had to have.
Well, this type of surgery, it does, there are some foods that you will never be able to eat again.
Yeah. I kind of miss them, by the way.
There are a lot of them foods I like too.
Yeah.
But, I just let the old marriage vows kick in, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health.
Now, there's a type of commitment that you made with this, because you knew you needed to lose weight as well.
Oh yeah, I got to be pretty hefty.
So you made a commitment to yourself.
Right.
to change the way you were eating and portion wise, and we did go low carb, just to make that easy for you. How do you feel about that part, and about being that support in making that commitment? Because that was a huge part of it. If you had stayed eating the way I was at the beginning, I wouldn't have been able to stick to this.
No.
So we're gonna go that way.
Oh, we're going this way.
Yeah, we're not going around.
Okay.
So how do you feel about what's your advice to spouses that are on the sidelines while their spouse is going through this weight loss part?
Don't be on the sidelines. Get in there. Be supportive. Whatever you have to do to make his or her journey successful, you need to do it. Because this is something that Janet didn't have a choice in. She was told to do this, or you probably wouldn't be around in a year. So
we've heard a lot of people, or I've been telling you about a lot of people that are struggling with families that don't support this, and tell them it's the easy way out and that kind of stuff. From your perspective as the person on the sideline, can you address some of that and how important support is?
Support's really important for the person that's having the surgery done. First of all, we've been married, well, come February, it'll be 22 years.
23 years.
23? Okay. I lost a year somewhere. But in those 22 and a half years, I've watched you struggle under normal circumstances, trying to, the low carb way of life, and you get to a certain point, and boom, you'd plateau.
Yeah.
Then comes discouragement.
Yeah.
And then comes, screw it, let's just go back to eating the way we were. And I just watched you do that. And although I wasn't real excited about you doing the bariatric surgery,
yeah,
I also knew that I wasn't real crazy about you not being around in a year.
Yeah.
So I had to commit to being committed to you being around for a while.
Now, what do you think? I mean, like, you support me with emotional support all the time, which means encouragement,
yes,
words of encouragement, but also making sure that we don't buy groceries a certain way.
Right. I've become...
If you hear me craving something, not buying it for me.
Right.
That kind of stuff. But the people that are saying this is the easy way out for somebody.
Oh my gosh, that's not easy at all.
Can you, because you see what I have, and what I go through, maybe you can help explain to the people, the family members. Lucas, look at all the turtles.
Where?
Out there on that big tree limb.
Yep.
Come here.
There's the turtles.
Look, there's a little one. That's a leatherback right there, but look at all those big ones out back there.
Where's the leatherback?
Wow.
It's right there on that limb.
Right down there.
See it?
I don't want a turtle.
See them? We're not getting turtles.
Hope I didn't make
But,
anybody sick turning the phone.
Right. The big turtles are all down here. Look.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of them sunbathing. So, can you kind of explain from your point of view what that means? You're gonna have to wait. What that means in not being the easy way out, because this surgery isn't immediate.
No.
We don't leave the hospital weighing 150 pounds after being 300. Look at him with the big tall neck. He's got his head all the way up. That's a big one.
Check it out.
That's a big turtle.
Yeah, it is.
So,
well, you went into the hospital for the surgery at, what was it?
well, I'd lost 35 pounds, I think is what they told me. So I was 287 or something, and I lost 35 pounds before the surgery.
So about 250
something.
250 something, and you went home
250 something.
about 250 something. So I mean, and this is not an instant. Okay, look at me. I have a figure like nothing. It still takes work, and people have had this. In my research, I found that people have had this surgery and not lost a pound.
Yep.
Because they didn't follow the instructions from the surgeon and dietitians and
Look at him.
the people that know
Lucas.
know what you have to have.
Lucas.
And
Lucas.
this is by no means
Oh, they're gone now.
the easy way out.
Well, and talk a little bit about since the surgery, what I go through, like the big turtle. That you kind of help them understand, because I can tell them all day long, but they don't, I just want them to see it from somebody else's point of view.
Well, from my perspective, here we go. We're going to sit
like
down.
What we eat and that kind of stuff.
We're going to sit down and have supper or lunch, whichever the case may be. And I look at this little,
Saucer.
smaller than a teacup saucer plate of hers with, I mean,
My full meal.
what I would call a tease for me to eat in this
Come on, Bob.
on this plate. And it's like, this is, in the beginning I would say, this is all you get?
Right.
And she'd say, well, yeah. And I'd say, well, that couldn't keep a bird alive.
Right.
But that's why they have the supplements and the shakes and all that stuff, is to do that. But I can't believe people think this is the easy way out, because when you're used to eating, we were talking about it this morning, that we used to eat probably 3 portions apiece in certain foods that we really, really liked. And
well, like
now,
we said before, the restaurants serve you a 14-inch diameter plate.
right.
Lucas, wrong way.
Back this way, Bubby. And then to come home from having the surgery and have to eat a plate, slow down, bub. Eat a plate of food that's less than the size of a tea plate.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you got to talk about the surgery part. And when we get out of surgery, nothing feels good, because
No.
you just had
No.
major surgery. I already explained kind of what that is in the first video. So when you first get out of surgery, they're handing you water and protein shakes and saying, drink it all. You got to get it in. And you can take a literal sip, but they want you to drink 64 ounces of liquid every day.
That's a lot of liquid.
And you got to start right after surgery. They're not playing. They give you that water, and they're like, here's your measuring cup.
Right.
I want an ounce down every couple minutes or every 15 minutes, and you can't even handle anything in your stomach at that time.
No. And you
and
only
then it
have
just grows from there on what their expectations are.
well, you only have a 2-ounce stomach to start with anyway. So to drink 64 ounces, you've got
Good job. Come on.
you can't drink more than a
Come on.
couple of ounces,
No, come on.
ounce or 2 at a time anyway.
Yep.
Takes you most of the day.
Well, and then so after surgery, like I said, they still expect you to drink 64 ounces of liquid. That's including your water, that's including your shakes.
Right.
And that's not the same way for everyone. Some, in one of my support groups, I found out that some of them have to drink 64 ounces of water on top of the liquids and stuff they put in their body. But after surgery, you're on a strict liquid diet for several weeks before they move you to pureed.
I'm thirsty.
And you're still only getting 2 ounces of food at a time, and then drinking all you want, but you still can only take in 2 ounces at a time.
Right.
So
Can I have a drink of that?
it's very frustrating to hear people say this is the easy way out, because what would be easy is not having the surgery and
Right.
getting to pull in and eat at McDonald's or Taco Bell or
Right.
go to a nice restaurant all the time and know exactly what you want to eat. And now we don't hardly eat out anymore. And when we
No.
do, it's a struggle. I mean, right after, a couple months after, we tried to go to a restaurant and they had no food for a bariatric patient at all.
Yeah, it's tough.
And you go to family gatherings where everybody's making all your favorite foods, and you go to, women's prayer groups or to a party or whatever, and there's no food there you can eat. And
Right. It's tough.
then some people want to just say, well, I'll cheat tonight, and you can cheat on this. You could eat anything you want to,
Right.
but I guarantee you, your body's going to tell you that's not something you can eat.
Whoops. Well, that sun's probably blinding me out.
Sorry. So those people that say this is the easy way out, there is nothing easy about this. Trying to figure out what you can eat, and then after the surgery, your taste buds change.
Right.
So, like me, I've never liked beans or hummus. I still don't like fish, thank God. But there's other foods that I have never liked, zucchini and squash.
Total distance 1 mile. Total time 25 minutes and 44 seconds.
And I've never
Split
been able
pace
to eat
25
them.
minutes 44 seconds
But-
per mile.
Sorry, my walk app is talking to us. It's confusing. So, but the part that's not easy is just trying to find the foods that you can eat, foods that you now like. When your taste buds change,
Right.
making sure you sip instead of gulp. Don't drink out of a straw because you might take in too much. I mean, there's so many things that we have to remember, that when your family member tells you, I'm considering weight loss surgery, what should be their first response as a person being told that? Besides, oh my gosh, I'm scared to death.
Wait for the surprise I got.
I think the person that's
She's unplugging me.
asked about it, they need to do what you did. Do a little research. Think about it long and hard. Do I really want to do this? Am I really going to be committed to this?
Well, Dad had AFib in April of the last year.
Right.
And then Mom had her heart attack in December. And in October was when I was told, you'll be dead in a year if you don't do this. So considering a weight loss plan and then considering bariatric surgery had been heavy on my heart since Easter that last year.
Yeah.
And so I was ready with your questions because I'd already started my research, but I knew you'd want to research yourself. But it's the family members that don't show support and don't say, if this is what you need to do, we're here. Or even if you don't agree with it, I'm just not comfortable with it, but I'm here for you. I will be your sounding board. You can cry on my shoulder. I mean, you
Right.
may not understand it, or you may be upset with them for it, but discouraging them, and you're not trying to save their life. I mean, I wasn't as big as some people that I've met that were in my classes, and for them, this is their be all to end all.
Right.
And just like they tell us in the class, it's a tool. It's not the answer. It's not
Right.
immediate, and it's not the only. I mean, you can't have the surgery and then all of a sudden these pounds just come off. There's work that has to be done.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
And if
For
I
the-
didn't have you as support and have Jeannie as
Right.
support, and even Maddie has, when I first had the surgery, was walking with me in the cool of the day and that kind, or in
Right.
the afternoons or whatever, I wouldn't have been able to make it by myself, especially without you helping me at home. But I'm just really wanting to reiterate how important that person or those people are for that weight loss support, because I'm here today
Yeah.
walking. I've already walked a mile
Right.
and still going. It's not out of breath, not wore out. I mean, I'm out of breath. I know my heart's racing, but not like can't breathe and need an inhaler or my heart medicine or whatever. But I'm 97 pounds down today, or 99 pounds actually. I
Right.
weighed myself this morning. I'm 99 pounds down, guys. This is really exciting.
She's under 200.
I'm in Wonderland. And it's very exciting. But if I
Yes.
didn't have the support from the people that I love, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have. Bob's an enabler, so he had to learn not to enable me.
I had to toughen up.
The
But-
worst part of your enabling now is when I say I need to go for a walk and you say okay, and then I curl up on the bed and you don't say get up, let's go for a walk.
Well, I'm not perfect.
They ask you, they ask us or warn us that we change one vice for another, so we replace food with something.
Hmm.
And I think you replaced your enabling of food with my lack of exercise.
That could be.
Like just explaining it away. It's okay, you don't feel good today.
Grandma, I have something for you.
Just
Well-
let me get there.
It's up ahead.
But
A lot of that is I haven't had the surgery. I don't have a clue how you feel,
yeah,
when you feel good, when you don't feel good. So I can't sit there and say, oh, come on.
yeah.
I mean, you just had bariatric surgery. Let's get going here. Don't be a wuss. I can't say that because maybe there is something really wrong
Well, and
that day.
almost every person, I mean, there's not very many people that's having this surgery that has no health issues. If you weigh 400 pounds and you're 5'1", I'm guaranteeing you there's some underlying health issues. You are not healthy.
No.
You are morbidly obese. That's the term for it, no matter how much any of us hate that term. So when there's other health issues besides just the weight, you still have to figure out. Go get your thing. There's times when people don't know when you're saying I don't feel like exercising today, what that means or what that looks like, because it could be your fibromyalgia, it could be your heart, it could be that you're drained because your thyroid's out of whack.
Right.
So don't go too far now. You have to stay where I can see you. I'm going that way, but don't go too far ahead now because there's a lot of twists and turns. But so in that commitment and in showing support, the one thing that we both say is, I may say I need to do it, and he may be thinking, well, get up and do it. But he also knows that it could be my fibromyalgia that day that keeps me in bed. It could be the fact that I just worked a 12-hour shift and can't hardly walk or move because I'm exhausted. Because my work schedule plays a big part in my weight loss as
Right.
well. Because the one problem a lot of people on nights have is their metabolism being all out of whack. Because we don't wake up at breakfast time and we don't eat at supper time. We eat throughout the night. But can you talk a little bit about how you try to support me with that, the timing and scheduling with that, and the types of foods you send for me to work?
Well, I've been known to send too much.
Even
But-
when I wasn't on weight loss surgery.
Right. But after the surgery, you never know, because she has this thing where she gets sometimes mandated to work over or something like that. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure that if
I
she
have
has the
breakfast.
opportunity, that she can eat every 2 to 3 hours all night long, because that's what she was told.
Right.
And so I put in enough to keep her going every 2-3 hours all night long. And sometimes I go a little overboard on it, but she doesn't have to eat it because, you know, she's
That's my choice.
right. She has the choice to do that.
Everybody
But-
used to love when Bob sent food to work. Because if they forgot something or if they were extra hungry, they knew he'd made a meal, put in a couple of snacks, had my breakfast, and hot tea or anything else I wanted. So everybody say, "What Bob send you today? Is there anything for me?" You know. So that was one of the things that, and he wasn't enabling me because I didn't eat a lot at work. A lot of times he'd say, Grandma. He would say stuff like,
There's a closed one.
"I'm on a video. Go get your scooter and come on."
I want to scoot down.
No, come
Nope.
on. But it was my choice whether or not to eat all that food.
Right.
And it's still my choice whether or not to eat all that food. Lucas, Mark, now.
Come on, bub.
It's still my choice whether or not to eat that. But kind of to talk about the nutritional aspect of what he was talking about, eating every 2 to 3 hours, is that you need to keep your body your calories up for your body,
Right.
especially when your body's in movement all the time. And when I'm at work, I literally run all night long until the kids go to bed. So for 4 straight hours, I'm burning every calorie I've taken in all day. And the most calories I get in a meal are a couple hundred, like on a shake or,
Right.
out of some ingredients that I'm eating. But if I'm not eating very much, I'm only getting 100 or 200 calories at the most in a meal. I don't think I get that much. When I eat hummus, it's like 110 calories for the 2 ounces of hummus I eat. But you have to eat every couple hours. I mean, I know people are hearing him say you got to eat every couple hours, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, that's a lot of food." It's really not. It's 2 ounces of food at a time, and it may be between 100 to 200 calories, and you're still only getting, I know I hardly ever get 1,000 calories a day because I don't eat that much. Hi guys. Hello. Hi puppy. Hi puppy. He was happy to get a little pet.
Yeah, he was.
So, but the foods that we choose, talk about where we're at with the foods we choose.
Well,
Because I eat what you eat. So how did you
Right.
choose
well,
what you were going to eat?
I like so many foods. I'm probably one of the easiest people to feed.
Yeah, you are.
There's only a handful of things I refuse to eat.
Literally 5.
Yeah. And so I just pick stuff that I know you like, and we'll experiment with other stuff once in a while. And if we find something else, then that's where I that's where I look.
You've become our nutritional value reader in the
Right.
grocery store.
I've
Even
become
when
a
I'm
label.
not with you.
I'm a label shopper now. I mean, when I pick up stuff at the store for her, I know I can't go with more than 5 grams of sugar,
Yeah.
and I want to keep the carbohydrate count
Yeah.
as low as I can.
And sugar alcohols.
Yeah,
My body can't process the sugar alcohols like other people.
right.
So we're supposed to stay away from the sugar alcohols.
And make sure that's as low as possible if
Yeah.
you're buying the foods that have that in it.
Right.
And basically, she doesn't miss out on a thing. A lot of people think you're going to miss out, and you may miss out on quantity, but you're not going to miss out on the stuff you used to like to eat. You just have to.
No, I eat a lot of the things that we've always cooked anyway.
Right.
I've
And-
eliminated starches and pastas and
I do have to
let me
say
try
though
to-
that there's a certain amount of paying your dues until you can get to that point, because right after the surgery you're on I believe it's a
diet.
total liquid diet.
I need a.
You'll get one you get started.
Waters, broths, and shakes. And I also, when I'm shopping, I pick foods as high in protein as I can, because you don't eat a fraction of what you used to.
No.
And
And my body doesn't process protein or create protein anymore.
right, so I need to keep the protein level up as high as I can, and make sure that it's in line with the carbohydrate and sugar.
So you said that I'm not missing out on anything because I eat really good tasting stuff.
Right.
And it's not all diet stuff.
No.
I mean, I cook a lot of stuff and it's not diet at all. But talk about whether or not, with you being supportive and doing your own change of life and changing your foods, have you been deprived?
I really don't feel like I've been deprived because I found a whole nother world of foods
Right.
that are not loaded in carbs, but are tasty and replace that high carb stuff I used to have. And the processed foods,
Hey! Hey!
is one of the things that I just cut out.
Well, and
Period.
we cut out ice cream at the
Right.
beginning because you were only allowed 40 carbohydrates a meal.
Right.
But we've increased that back up to 100. So you've gotten your low carb ice cream,
Right.
and you eat low carb snacks, that kind of stuff. But
Yep.
what about, like, I know you were missing popcorn, so we added popcorn back because you were able to have